Welcome to the Gorgeous Gray podcast. I am Nicole Scott, your host, registered holistic nutritionist, rest mindset coach, author of the Gorgeous Gray movement, and the co-creator of the Menopause Reset program. In this podcast, we have real conversations about aging as a woman and all the pressure and uncertainty we feel as we head into menopause and beyond. Let's face it, aging is not an easy conversation to have. But I say it's time to talk about the messy middle and offer hope when we feel like giving up on ourselves. Let's talk about our fears around gray hair, our muffin tops, and even our dry, itchy vaginas and everything in between. I will help you reconnect to your feminine energy and offer real solutions from experts in their field to navigate aging as a woman. I believe we, as women, deserve to shine even brighter in this next chapter of life. So with a sense of humor and a lot of compassion, let's dive into these vulnerable conversations. Hello, gorgeous gray women. I am so excited with our special guest today. Melissa Hyde is in the house.
Whoop, whoop. Thanks for having me.
So exciting. Melissa Hyde is one of my best friends, and we have been going through this journey together on aging with some really vulnerable, funny, almost embarrassing conversations, but helping us get through that uncomfortableness of certain topics. And today I just want to dive in with you, Melissa, and have our audience really hear our hearts and some of the conversations that you and I have had over the years. But first off, I think the first conversation, first of all, I'll introduce people a little bit more who you are. Your background is personal training. You're a mama bear to 3. You live in Ontario and you've moved up to your dream cottage. Your husband still works. You're still working. Empty nester, not so much. You thought you were, but they're back. Some of them are back. Close,
Yeah.
right? And, your parents are still independent, so you don't have that kind of sandwich generation yet, because I know some women at our age are starting to go through that, intense stress of managing both younger kids and the parents. But anyways, let's dive into the conversation of when the gray hair started to come in for you. So as you know, my gray hair came in when I started to be like in my 20s, and Melissa, like she was 50, and I'm like, where is your gray hair? Like barely came in. So let's start that conversation out first, because it really lands, I think, with a lot of women is, when did the gray hair come in, and then what were some of the questions that you started to ask yourself?
Oh, I'm not much of a detail person, so I don't really remember exactly when. I mean, it's been a few years for sure. I certainly remember in the bathroom, like the first couple, like, what is that? And this little white curly hair sticking on the top of my head. I'd pull that out. So I'm gonna say I did that probably for years, because I guess I've got my dad's genes in that area, because he's 82, and I would say he's still kind of salt and pepper. His hair was always black, and now it's just kind of sprinkled with a little bit of white in there. So yeah, a few years ago, I guess, is when it started, but it's even now, like it's hard to tell in this light, but yeah, no, I don't dye my hair. I think I dyed my hair or highlighted it twice in my whole life, and dyed it once because the highlights went wrong. But that's it. So I don't, like, you can see a little bit here, but yeah. And then, not that long ago, it started to, I remember it was during the pandemic. It started to come in full force. And I thought, oh my gosh, when the pandemic is over, nobody's going to recognize me, because my hair is going to be a different color than the last time they saw me. And I really have to say it was all thanks to you that I didn't dye my hair, because I was learning from you what was in hair dye. And I guess that, and just watching you transition to gray, just gave me the courage to say, F it, I'm not going to do that. I don't have the time to sit there every however many weeks I would need to be going to do that. I don't want to spend that kind of money. And then learning about the chemicals. And then the other thing that was big for me is I never wanted to have, that skunk line that so many people have. And I just thought, it's now or never. If I don't let this happen naturally, I'm going to be a skunk one day. And I just didn't want to do that. And I made that decision and it was so freeing and I haven't looked back. It was like one less thing to worry about.
And so did you get resistance though from some people saying, what the heck are you doing? And like, let's have that conversation of the resistance, because women, if you're listening to this and you're thinking about like letting your hair go gray, there's going to be resistance for most of us. What was your resistance like and how did you overcome the negative Nellies?
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of resistance because it was COVID. So I wasn't seeing anybody, right? So on Zoom, when I was talking to most people, you can't really tell, right? It was my family. My husband never said a word, so he was very smart. I don't know what he thought of it. I still have yet to really ask him because I don't even think about it anymore. It doesn't matter because this is what I'm doing. And he probably knew that. It doesn't matter what I say, she'll do whatever she wants. But it was from my kids. They would just, so Mom, have you thought of, highlighting your hair or dyeing your hair or stuff like that? And then when I went to visit my sister, who's 5 years younger than I am, but she went gray years ago and so has been dyeing her hair since then. She told me that the kids had messaged her to get me to dye my hair while I was down there. And I just said, well, they're out of luck. I'm not doing it. And that was kind of the end of that. And I guess she just thought, oh, okay, we won't talk about that anymore. So yeah, it's just from my kids and they haven't really said much since then, but yeah, it does make you feel kind of icky when somebody says that, right? It's just, oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah. So, I mean, you don't have the full on gray like I do. You kind of have like specks of it, almost like sparkles, as I would say, right? Your wisdom sparkles like throughout your hair.
Yeah,
I
just
know
right
in the
here
beginning, when we used to get together, the grow out, not going to lie, you guys, the small gray ones, we were joking and said, it looks like you have a bunch of pubics on your head because they were all right, wiry. And you're like, what am I going to do with these? But they eventually softened. Yes.
And I felt like a chia pet for a while.
A chia pet.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's our one topic of gray. So let's talk about aging overall. How was your experience? You're 55 years old. You just turned 55. Happy post birthday. I got her a cow for her birthday. Do you want to explain what a cow is?
You sure did. And I posted that on social media and everybody was like, you got a cow? So a cow, it's called almond cow, and it's just like, it looks like a big kettle is what it looks like. It doesn't get hot though. And it just allows you to make plant-based milk at home. So it is amazing. It is so fast. I thought, because it has to go through 3 processes. So I thought, oh, I'll just leave it on the counter and I'll go do some things. And it was done in less than a minute. I was blown away. And you can do oat milk, whatever nut milk you want. Yeah. So it's great on saving so much money because the cartons of milk I was going through probably almost one a day because my family's drinking smoothies, and that creates a lot of garbage, a lot of recycling. So it's eliminated all of that. And then the cost, because I use, what is it? I've been doing oat milk. So I use 2 cups of oats and I got to let them soak, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of maple syrup and water. So it's so cheap too and convenient. So when I run out, I just quickly make some more. It's good.
Oh, good. Okay, so it's aging. So
Yeah.
what has your journey been like so far on this whole conversation about, aging or the symptoms that come with aging? Where are you at?
I would say it hasn't been a whole lot different, honestly, for me. I've been a personal trainer, as you said. So I've always been into fitness and health and like really fit and always just without sort of bragging, I guess, but always kind of stronger than the average bear, or I could run faster or longer, or always doing more stuff like that than the people that I spent most of my time with. Not the ones, of course, that were doing those activities. Then I was, I was quite humble when I was doing CrossFit with the people doing CrossFit. So I've never had any aches and pains. I've never thought about slowing down or changing my type of car to make it easier to get into, or thinking about a bungalow because my knees or hips bother me. I'm just more excited now than ever, because I still feel like I did in my, honestly, I probably feel more fit than I'll say I almost have. I just might say that. Because I'm eating better than I did way back then, even though the body composition is a little bit different. Overall, if I looked at everything, I would say it's best now. And now I have the time freedom to do the stuff I want to do. It's not just energy to chase after toddlers and things like that. So yeah, I'd say
Good.
it's pretty good.
Well, congrats, because I know a lot of people aren't aging as gracefully as you are. And, women are always wanting to know, like, what are your secrets? What are you're doing? So if you could highlight some of the things that you think are keeping you, balanced in your life, what are some of those things that you've been, consistent with, I guess, with your health and your habits that are working in your favor?
Oh gosh, lots I could share. Definitely fitness is one. As I said, I've been an athlete my entire life. I have a degree in kinesiology. I've been personal training forever, and then always learning. So there's always something fresh and exciting in terms of working out to do, whether it's a new piece of equipment or just a new type of workout. Like CrossFit's only in the last, I don't know, 5 or 7 years. So that was just something new and new people to work out with and new challenges. So I love a challenge. So that, constantly learning about nutrition, because that, as I learned the hard way as a personal trainer, that trumps actually working out. So if you can treat your body, like if you can spend as much time on your nutrition as you do working out, then you're going to be way ahead of the game, because that's not only get better results in the gym, but in all areas of your life, right? And mindset is huge. And I attribute that to, like, I think I've always been a pretty positive person. I just sort of oh, well, attitude and let that roll off and move on. And I attribute that to as I call it, my circle of 5, the people that I spend the most time with, people that I feel energized after spending time with them. When I hang up on the phone or go home after being with them, I am excited, as opposed to, and I'm sure you've been around some of those people, or people listening know that you're on the phone with these people for a little while or in person, and you're just like, oh my gosh, that was exhausting. And then finding what lights your soul on fire. I was talking about this the other day with some friends, and men as well, but I'll just use women because that's who we're talking here today. So we start our life and we're busy with just the usual things, right? Going to school and the first boyfriend. So that's exciting. And then we're going to the university, maybe, or college, or starting that first job. And then maybe doing some traveling, and then maybe getting married. And it's all these different stages in our life that are exciting, right? And we're excited about these new stages. And then for some of us, we end up having kids, and then it's all of their exciting stages that keep us excited.
Yeah.
But then there comes a point, with or without kids, we reach this stage in our life. And if you've had kids, it's usually when the kids are now, they may still be living with you, but they've moved on in terms of they're busy with their own lives. They're doing their own thing. Even if they're still around, they're still, you're not taking care of them, and they're just doing things with their friends. Or if you don't have kids, you just get to that point in your life, if your job is just truly a job, it's not a passion. And you think, what's my purpose? Why am I here? What do I want the next chapter of my life to look like? And that's why they sort of call it midlife, because that's when I think it happens. You're like, okay, I've done all those things, and all those typical exciting things are not past, but now what? And so many people get lost at that point in time, because they don't have something that is fulfilling to them, that gives them, when you have that sense of peace, that knowing that this is why I'm here. I'm working towards, or part of, something bigger than myself. And I've had that for many, many, many years with my personal training, with my network marketing business, the people that I'm on, the coaching that I do. And that has just kept me so excited and not complacent, because I'm like, okay, what can we do next? What's the next exciting project we can be working on? And that just lights me up, because the work I do impacts other people's lives. So when I see someone else achieve their goals, that is the best feeling in the world. So yeah, so
Amazing. So
important.
good. And okay, so now we're going to talk about this whole menopause conversation, because
Oh,
this comes up so often.
right.
I, as you know, went through definitely some challenges in my menopause journey and gained weight and adrenal burnout. And then there's you, and you're like, oh, well, that didn't happen to me. So, I mean, I just celebrated like my 1 year menopause birthday. So I'm in that post-menopausal. Where are you on your journey? And can you kind of explain that kind of like last 4 to 5 years of what that looked like for you, and how you're coping with menopause today?
Yeah, I was trying to think about the last time I had my period, because as I mentioned, I am not a detail person. I never
Yeah.
had problems with my period. So it would just show up. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. And it was gone on time. And that was it. Like I never, ever had an issue. And I remember it had been gone a long time. Again, not sure how many months, but then it showed up the day that you and I did that marathon in Ottawa. I'm like, are you kidding me? I haven't seen you in months, and today you decide to show up. So that was, how many years ago was that?
Like 5, I
Uh,
think.
5 years ago,
Yeah.
something like it. Anyways, that was it. That was her final hurrah, goodbye. And I haven't had one since. And it literally just disappeared as easily as it came. And that was it for a long time. I'm like, yep, I'm this menopause thing. Not that it's overrated, because I know people suffer terribly with so many symptoms, but I was just good. I guess I thought because I had always been an athlete, always been in good shape, that would contribute to it. I never had problems with my period. So why would it bother me after it was gone? So everything was fine until it wasn't. And that was just this year, actually, the beginning of this year. I just started to notice I was getting thicker around the middle. It just felt squishier and squishing over the top of my pants a little bit. And I was just like, what's going on? And I thought, okay, well, I could probably do more hardcore training, because COVID had slowed that down a bit, because the
Yeah.
CrossFit gyms had closed.
Yeah.
And so I started doing more workouts and stuff, and it wasn't making much of a difference. In fact, this little muffin was getting a little bit bigger. And then I was waving one day and my arms didn't stop. I thought, what is this? And then there was one other thing that happened, just crazy itchy. That's what it was. My head is itchy all the time. My woohoo's itchy. And I'm like, what is going on? And then you and I were together in April, and you were talking about you were at your wit's end as well. And I said, okay, I'm up for whatever you're doing. Sign me up for this program. And that's when I guess I waved the white flag saying, okay, menopause is kind of bugging me. So time to do something different.
Right. So you and I kind of went on this journey together. You weren't happy. I wasn't happy. We were like, one day we're actually going to come out of our house and actually have to put on some type of a bathing suit. We can't live in a ski suit in the summertime on the beach, and try to hide our muffin top and everything like that. So,
Yeah.
not only did we go to back to school through COVID and become trauma coaches with the
Yep.
rREST program, then we started to do the deep dive, right? The books, the research, podcast, hiring health professionals, diving deep into our own, markers. I mean, I've been on this journey since 46, when it's been all over the map for me. And I know this is a new journey for you, but can you explain to the audience, when I came up in the summertime, about our manifestation exercise on the boards, and then what kind of unfolded from there?
Yeah. So that, oh gosh, that was so fun. I remember us getting ready to go out. We're going paddleboarding. And I think we both kind of looked at each other and went, oh my God, you look so good. That program really worked. And I said, I know, you've got to see my before and after photos, they're shocking because I hadn't really lost that much weight on the scale,
Yeah.
but the photo, and I didn't actually feel that different in my clothes because I'm working out most of the time, or COVID, gotta love Lululemon, man. So when you live in stretchy clothes all the time, you don't notice that they're
Right.
getting tighter. It's just like
Yeah.
when I was pregnant for the third time, I didn't even know until I was 3 months because I was in stretchy stuff all the time. Another story. So I didn't notice the difference that much. Like I was feeling better, feeling stronger, feeling tighter, that sort of thing. But when I took the photos, I was horrified at what it was because I had taken those photos and put them away. But then when I put it in a little collage, a before and after,
Yeah.
I was dumbfounded at the results. And it wasn't a long period of time either. 8 weeks.
Yeah. 8 weeks
Yeah.
of just making some changes.
Yep. So
Incredible.
we were paddling, you and I, and
Mhm.
talking about that in the program. And we just said, we need to share this with other people because pretty much anyone my age is complaining about menopause symptoms.
Yeah.
Weight gain, hot flashes, those are the two, or energy. I would hear that all the time.
Yeah.
And we just thought, let's share this program. I mean, we've shared other health programs. We've been doing that for 10 years now. And we just needed to tweak that and make it work for people in menopause because there's different challenges. And so we decided to do that. We took some fun photos and we posted one on TikTok, or you posted it on TikTok, and it blew up beyond our wildest imagination. And we thought, oh my gosh, we're on to something.
Yeah.
So that's when we really got serious about that course. Like we talked about it and then we got to work, and we just launched it in September, right? We started advertising for it, and we had a webinar to provide a ton of education to people.
Yeah.
And then from there, they wanted to join our course. Like I think we had over 300 people sign up for our webinar to learn
Yeah.
more. We thought, holy cow, we have struck a chord with menopausal women.
Yeah.
They desperately are looking for some help.
Yeah, I know. I'm so proud of ourselves. It's amazing when you connect to spirit and ask, we're ready to serve more women. We're ready to upgrade. And then, we throw a very vulnerable video of us in bikinis. And it goes viral on TikTok. It goes viral on Facebook. It goes viral on Instagram. And literally overnight, we had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women responding, going, how did you do it? And then the rest is history. So what Melissa's talking about is, we very quickly put together a very unique Menopause Reset 8-week program for women. We're almost halfway through it. We're working right now, with the start of our first, I'm going to say batch of amazing menopausal women at over 35, I think, in our group right now that we're serving. We have weekly group coaching classes, which is incredible, very powerful topics that we're educating. So we are the teachers, we are the coaches, and, we are together in a community with like-minded women that are, cheering each other on, showcasing what we're eating, having those questions, and we're just able to just keep on giving them the information that they're looking for so that they can just keep on upping their game in menopause so that you can live your best life. And it shouldn't be all what's the word I'm looking for, like what's the word that you hear when people are heading into menopause? Like they're not looking forward to
downhill for now.
Right, all downhill. I'm worried. I don't want to go there. I've heard horror stories. It's like kicking and fighting, where we want to change the narrative, the conversation, to say menopause is something to be excited about. Menopause we should love, because we're going into this whole next chapter with more freedom, more time, hopefully more money, to go, to play, to do, to serve, without having to worry about having babies.
Right.
But we do need to know how to take care of ourselves, and we do need to know how to reduce that level of stress.
Yeah.
Because it really, when people come into menopause, they go, oh, it's all my hormones. But I'm going to back it up and say, it's not the hormones. It's the stress that caused the hormone imbalance.
Right.
So it's almost a stress, I say disorder, but it is the stress that we can blame.
Yeah.
And then the hormone imbalances happen. And that conversation doesn't happen often. We just go straight to it's hormones. I don't have enough. Give me a pill. Give me something magic. I want this to be done and over with. And you can do Band-Aid solutions.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're not getting to root cause of why your testosterone is low, or why your estrogen is low, or why your progesterone is low, we're not going to long-term serve your body in the best optimal capacity it has. So that's why we're doing this program. Melissa, what are some of the comments just in our first 3 weeks that women are starting to share about, their experience so far? Anything off the top? I know that you posted a bunch of them last week.
Yeah. Number 1 is energy. Number 2 is sleep. And that was our topic last week, talking about that. And I don't think people realize what your body does during sleep and what makes sleep so important, right? We think we win a trophy for like, oh yeah, I only need 5 hours sleep and I do a million things for everyone. And so, I'm super mom. Yeah, but at some point that's going to catch up to you. So those are the 2 biggest. And then definitely weight loss is happening, and they're learning all about weight loss, that inflammation causes weight gain. So helping them make lifestyle habits to lose some weight. A lot of portion distortion going on. So getting back to how much are we really supposed to be eating? What do we really need? And an overall learning and tuning into your body. It's like, oh, just how that feels. Am I really hungry? Just slowing down and tuning in. Yeah. So
good.
Yeah.
So what are you most excited about as we head, finishing off this group and then thinking about the next? And, I know that you're pretty giddy. I'm pretty giddy about, helping and serving more women so that we can empower them, right? So what are you most excited about over these next 6 months to a year?
More immediate, I'm really excited for the end of this first program, because the participants wrote out why they wanted to do the program and what they were hoping to get out of it. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, they need to say, what did they actually get out of it? And I can't wait to hear their stories on how this changed their life. So I'm super excited to hear about that, just because we're already getting little tiny bits of that through that. And then just launching it in January, we're going to do that again, you and I just talked about, but it's going to be bigger and better, meaning more content, more education to help more people. So I'm so excited for that. And even for myself, doing it again. All right, let's see where we can go with this. So yeah, pretty excited about it. I don't know where this is going to go, but I keep saying that word, but I'm just excited for what the future has to hold for this program, and just giving women hope and education and answers so they can improve their health to feel like they think they should be feeling, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So good. As we close off this interview, what would be one final message to women that are listening in regards to them struggling with weight, or struggling with the concept of aging, or really beating themselves up and they're just kind of feeling stuck? What would be that one final message for that woman that is listening to this podcast right now?
First of all, just take a deep breath. Know that there is hope out there, and do not settle. That's my hashtag. I always say, whatever you do, don't settle. If you're not feeling like you want to feel, keep asking questions, keep looking for practitioners to help you figure out what is the root cause of this hot flash, this weight gain, this insomnia, whatever it is. There's a reason why. It's not just because were in menopause. And the whole aging concept, be grateful. This is something that's denied to many. Not everybody gets to reach even 50. So my uncle lost his battle with cancer at 39. So I think, wow, every year is a blessing, right? So
So great. Thank you so much, Melissa, for your strong message today. Thank you for doing life with me along the side in our adventures and journey and the number of women that we continue to touch. And for those that are listening, you'll be able to get more information down in the show notes about how to look up our Menopause Reset program. Watch the free webinar to get really the details of what Melissa and I did to lose. For myself, about 25 pounds. For Melissa, she said it wasn't really about her weight per se, but if you go and see her before and after, she got rid of her muffin top, her bloat, and the changes are just, profound. It's not always about the scale, but you'll be able to watch the free webinar, learn more about our Menopause Reset. And, if January is going to be your month to shine and to join us, we would love to have you be part of it. Thank you so much, Melissa Hyde, for joining today. Until next time, ladies, shine bright.
thanks, Nicole.
Thanks, Melissa.
I want to say thank you for listening to today's episode. If this message landed for you, make sure to leave a review and tag me, Nicole Scott at Gorgeous Gray Movement, and make sure to share with your friends. You can head over to my free Facebook community, Gorgeous Gray Movement, or subscribe to my YouTube channel for more inspiring interviews. If you are still struggling and need additional support, you can take a look at my website, nicolescott.ca, and learn more about my new Menopause Reset program that I'm so excited for. Until next time, ladies, be well and own your sparkle.